I'm a bit of a roamer, so I'm going to walk down off the stage. So, hello everyone. My name is Nate Williams. I am the head of customer success recruiting for Swing Talent. And today we are going to talk a little bit about what types of talent customer success executives are actually looking for. So going through the agenda a bit, we're going to talk and dive deep into what these executives really are looking for. So we're going to cover that from two elements, both the individual contributor role and those individuals that are interested in being a leader. We're then going to move to some things that you can do to help yourself grow, and then we're going to talk about some things that are going to make you more valuable. But we're then going to recap this session and then open it up for some Q&A, and hopefully there's some good questions from the audience. Now, before we get started, by a show of hands, how many of you have been in customer success for at least the last 3 years? That's a good number. What about the last 5 years? Nice. Do we have any 10 years? A couple. What about 20? No 20s. Okay. What's that? Yeah. Right. So I wanted to go through kind of my history. So I started at Salesforce as a customer success manager back in 2005. Now, prior to that, I had positions, to your point, that was customer facing. They may not necessarily have been named that, but my first role was a customer success manager at Salesforce 2005. Loved the opportunity. Loved learning about SaaS, the foundation of their CRM platform, and basically understanding how CSM could be impacting businesses. From there, I went to Yammer, where I was recruited as the first enterprise customer success manager, where there was a team of 3 of us. I moved into leadership, where I inherited that team, and I had to quickly grow it to about 45. So it was a fantastic experience. Right around that time, Microsoft had come in and wrote us a check for a little over $1 billion, so it was very exciting. Once the excitement of that, the dust had settled, we then had to go to Microsoft and do a job. So my team of 45 grew to about 65. We were covering the Americas. We were supporting the O365 product base in driving usage and adoption, which was a challenge in itself. After about 3 years, I decided to leave. I was actually on a plane every 7 days covering the Americas, so the travel was difficult. It was my personal life was a mess, and I decided to go back to my startup roots, and I went to a company called Xamarin, which those of you who know, it's a mobile application development company. So I was running the success team there, and I loved it. Great experience. Literally 6 months to the day that I was hired, when you're just kind of getting your groove, the ex-girlfriend called again and said she wanted me back. So, so I went to. I had some decisions to make, so I literally sold all of my options, took some time off, and wanted to figure out what I was going to do next. So what I decided to do was reach out to the founders of Swing Talent, and I said, listen, I have some ideas to build a customer success recruiting practice. I know lots of people that want jobs and want to do something different. I know lots of executives that are looking for new roles. I know lots of CEOs that want people who really get it and understand it. So I built out started building out the customer success recruiting practice at Swing in October of 2016. So literally about 4 or 5 months ago, and we have been doing fairly well. We got off to a really fast start. I just got a text that we closed somebody today, so we're pretty excited about that. Now, the reason I chose this picture, though I dated myself in starting in 2005, I still have a little muscle to me. Okay. So let's get into the heart of the matter, the nuts and the bolts, if you will. What are executives really looking for? Now, we're going to cover this again from a leadership perspective and an individual contributor. We'll start with the leadership. Being a customer success leader, right, those executives are looking for a clear command of the customer life cycle model. Now, what I'm talking about customer success, technical or customer support, professional services, and a knowledge or education team. You have to have full command of that proficiency, if you will, for them to, again, start engaging and having conversations with you. They want that from you. Next, they want you to be a builder. Now, the way to simply define being a builder is taking something from nothing and turning it into something. That's it. That could be in a business unit, that could be revenue, that could be a team, that could be a project, whatever that is. And lastly, and I'm not going to go through all of the list, but they want that leader to have a voice. Now, when I say voice, what I'm referring to is Can you be the voice of the customer? Do you know exactly what's going on with that customer base so you can communicate that to the product team, to the marketing team, to the sales team? And can you be a voice of your team to know, hey, what are some of the challenges that we're facing so those executives can be aware of it? Also, do you have a voice in communicating with those executives about ways that we can improve the customer lifecycle management? So having a voice. Now, from an individual contributor base, the themes that I'm always hearing about, again, and I've worked with a lot of big companies and a lot of small companies, and I got to hear from these executives, not to mention what I'm doing now, but they want those individual contributors to have managed large accounts. Now, when I say that, you might think, well, I don't really have enterprise experience, or I've only been in the enterprise. What I'm talking about is, do you have experience managing big customers in the segment that you are responsible for? So SMB space, mid-market, and the enterprise. If you have experience in managing those large accounts, that's a good thing. Do you have initiative? Now, the way that I think about initiative is it's a straight line to those who exceed expectations. If you have initiative, you are raising your hand to get those things done, to attack those challenges and those projects, people want to see that. That means to me that you are the one that they go to solve the problem. You have initiative. You're always raising your hand. And lastly, are you referenceable? Now, when I speak about being referenceable, we all manage customers at some point in our career. Can you reach out to those customers? Can they vet you? Can they communicate that this person has done a very good job for me in being my customer success manager, project manager, whatever that is? Are you a referenceable person? That goes a long way. These are what these execs are looking for. Now, here's how I can help you grow. Now, again, we're not going to go through the whole list, but if you do these things, you're guaranteed to grow. All of you should know these things, and I'm sure you're doing them all the time. I'm just going to go through things that you already know. But let's talk about the brand. We're talking about internally and externally, but internally, how is your brand? If somebody was to reference your name in a conference room and you're not there, are they going to say nice things about you? Are you responsive? Are you reliable? Are you knowledgeable? All of these things really build up your brand. Externally, are you the person that is commenting on the post? Are the forums? Are you attending the conferences? Are you meeting different people? Are you networking? All these things are going to help your brand externally. Are you connecting with those people who are doing the job potentially that you want to do in the future? That's going to help your brand. Are you consuming industry information? Like when you think about consuming industry information, that's going to make you more valuable and help you grow because you understand kind of what's going on. Also, and that's when I think about the industry, another thing to put in there is the organization. Are you understanding kind of what's going on with the organization as well? Lastly, I'll talk about is mentors. I had a mentor early in my career. I hope all of you have mentors because there was a place when I was a success manager at Salesforce, there was a lot of things that I didn't know. So I reached out to those individuals that were at the director level, the VP level, so I can learn from them. It's really important to connect with a mentor. Now, all those things were great that I just told you. Here are the nuggets, right? These are very important. Now, one, volunteer for the hard stuff. In each organization, there are things that people do not want to do. Those things you should volunteer for because something is better than nothing. Whatever that thing is, I'm sure you can imagine what it is within your company. Volunteer for the hard stuff. Gain a deep organization understanding. Though you all understand what's going on in your current department, do you know what's going on in marketing, sales, finance, support? The more you understand about what's going on, the more that's going to help you grow in front of your customers, obviously in those internal meetings as well. Face your fears. Like I think about the roller coaster example. When I was 11 years old, I rode my first roller coaster. I was terrified because the speed and the depths and all that stuff. But when I did it and I got off the ride, I rode it another 15 times because my fear had been faced and I really enjoyed it. Face the fears, whatever those fears are. Lastly, now don't dwell in the past. I'm going to quote a movie right now that's probably one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. The quote is, "Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery, today is a gift," right? That's why we call it the present. That's Kung Fu Panda, if you didn't know, one of the greatest movies. All right, so let's talk about being valuable. So again, I'm not going to go through all of the list, but consuming the industry information, that's a theme for me. So whatever the industry that you're in, the product, the service, technology, whatever it is, read all that you can, understand all that you can about what's going on in that industry For example, when I was at Xamarin, there was a lot of things that I knew about mobile application development, but by no means was I an expert. So I connected with people who worked at our competitors. I connected with the engineers that were at the team so I could understand exactly where is mobile application going. Why do you write in C#? How long have you been coding? Like all these different things I wanted to learn because it made me more valuable. Now, in the last slide, I talked about having and identifying a mentor. However, on your team, have you identified somebody that that can be a mentee? Like, do they not have the skill set that you have? As you identify those individuals, you can skill them up and make them better. That's very important. That's being valuable. Lastly, building soft skills. Now, I put building soft skills because that's my thing. When I was a customer success manager, I really enjoyed meeting with customers and understanding the insignificance or the significance of their life. So what is their spouse names? What's their children's names? What are the events that they like to go to? Did they just come back from vacation? So as I got that information, I would put it in the CRM tool next to my contact just so the next time that we were able to speak, I can reference something that they were doing. That kind of fast-tracked me into a trusted advisor role because not only did I have the small talk down, I was providing them content and value as it relates to us solving a business challenge. Now, just a quick recap. You need to be a builder all times. You have to build something from nothing, turning it into something amazing. Always grow, right? You're always growing your network. You're always growing your knowledge. You're always growing your understanding of your organization. You're always growing as far as understanding not only the industry, but the organization, the executive team, where the company is going. All of you here, I'm assuming, are on LinkedIn. You have to connect with those individuals. Build your network. Connect with those resources that are either a part of your organization now, outside of your organization, your customers. Connect with those. I know it seems a little weird at times, but sometimes you have to do that to build and grow. Lastly, build your worth. I'll share a quick story with you. When I was at Microsoft, we actually had a conference internally where it was about this big, where we brought all the leaders in from the world, and we had to, it's painful for me to say this, but we had to stack rank our individuals. So the first question that we had was, are they valuable to not only your team, but also to the organization? So believe me when I tell you that your managers know what you're bringing to the table, but what can make you more valuable is going to mean is there job security in there, and or are you a resource for the company that they can rely on? That's based on your value. Always continue to build and grow. So that's my presentation. Hopefully we have some good questions from the group. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, sure. Wow. I read a lot of the like the columns and the blog post and the customer success forum, all those things. Like I kind of pop in there and answer various questions. Like what I like about it is that if I were to ask all of you what's your definition of customer success, I'm sure there would be totally different answers. Most of my reading in my free time is in those blogs. So I like to give my impression of the challenges that I had at Salesforce, at Yammer, at Xamarin, so I can help others solve some of the problems that they have. Yeah. Sure.
You mentioned soft skills.
Yeah.
How did you assess and measure soft skills?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I wish I could come up with a really good technical answer for you, but what I did, it was based on feel for me. So if I asked myself literally about 3 or 4 questions during the interview. Can this person add value to my team right now? Can I take this person to a meeting with an executive, and can they have a conversation with that executive? Are they a team player? Could they fit in well with my team? Because every team dynamic is different. And then based on me asking them questions, hanging out with them, the last question I asked would I go to a bar with them to have a beer with my mom? It sounds ridiculous, but that's exactly how I did it. So again, I probably hired over 150 CSMs, and they, out of the 150 plus, I probably have had 2 bad hires. So it's, I'm okay with the percentages. Yeah.
What's your favorite scotch?
Ooh. I'm a Macallan guy. I like Lefroy, and just So when we were acquired by Microsoft the second time, I actually purchased a barrel, like a white oak barrel, and put some whiskey in there, so I'm currently aging it now. So we'll see. Yet to be determined. Yeah, thank you. There you go. Thanks, sir. Sorry, I have one more thing. So as I mentioned, we just started our customer success recruiting practice at Swing Talent. If I haven't connected with you, please find me on LinkedIn, talk to me after this. I would love to connect with you to figure out, one, if your organization is hiring some CSMs that you need help with, my team can absolutely help you. If you are a leader that is looking for your next opportunity or a CSM looking for your next opportunity, I would love to help you. If you are an organization that needs to identify a customer success, client engagement leader, I'm happy to help you. I probably have talked to, if you had to think of all the customer success leadership and or people within the Bay Area and abroad, my guess is that I've probably talked to about 85% of them in the last 4 or 5 months. So I would love to connect with you and meet you. I promise you I won't bite, but please find me and connect with me on LinkedIn.